Hello chestnuts! I really liked seeing some of the sea wigs you created yesterday. They were really imaginative and I'm looking forward to seeing them come to life on Thursday. Now today, like I said yesterday, we're going to be writing instructions, and to be successful in doing that we need to list what equipment we need, write using bullet points and use adverbials showing time. For example, first, next, and then. Today we're going to be writing a set of instructions to explain how to make the perfect sea wig. Yesterday you should have designed your sea wig and written your equipment list for what you need. If you haven't done that, then what I'd suggest doing is pause this video here and make sure that you've designed your sea wig. If you've not done your equipment list yet, then you can do that as part of the exercise today. The first thing I'm going to do is just go through what it means to write instructions and what things we need to remember to include. So instructions tell us how to do something. There are many different types of instructions. Some examples include recipes, directions, instructions for how to play a game, how to make or build something, how to repair something, or maybe how to look after or care for something. Can you think of any more examples? So now we're going to look at the features of instruction writing and things we need to make sure that we include. So regardless of their purpose, so regardless of what it is you're writing about, instructions share many of the same features. They have an introduction to explain what the end result will be, so what the instructions are going to help the reader to actually do. And this will usually include a question to engage the reader. They will make sure they include a list of things the reader will need, such as ingredients for a recipe, materials for a building project, or equipment for a craft activity. They'll also include an outline of the method needed to complete the task, which is usually in chronological order. Remember, if something's in chronological order, then it's in the order that you would complete a task in. There's usually imperative verbs used as well, which we know as bossy verbs, and they boss the reader around and tell them what to do. So like the verb sit, you'd say sit down, or stand up, or if you're cutting something you might say cut this. We also need to include conjunctions which link words together, prepositions that might tell us where something is, and adverbs to show time, place and cause, and they need to be used throughout. Things like the words after that, or as soon as it's melted, inside the box, or when you've cut around the template. You might want to include some extra tips and advice for the reader, especially if something's a bit tricky. And pictures or diagrams can be used to provide clarification. So to make something a little bit clearer, it's really nice to have a picture alongside the instructions. And in my example, I'll show you that. So here is an example of how to make a sea wig, and hopefully when you look at it you can notice some of the things that we've just discussed. Now I'm going to go through it step by step and you'll be able to see, because I've highlighted the different things that we've just spoken about that need to be included in an instruction piece of work. So to start with, it says how to make a sea wig, and that's a title. So we started it with a capital letter and we've underlined it. We then have you ever wanted to go to the night of the sea wigs? Follow these instructions to make the best sea wig ever seen. That is our introduction, and like it said, it's also include a question to get the reader to think about whether they'd want to go or not. We then have the subheading, what you will need, and I've used a colon because I'm now about to list using my bullet points. I've said card, scissors, glue, plastic, coloured paper, tissue paper, and then anything else to adjust your sea wig. Because in these instructions, it might be different what different people use. I then have used the subheading method, so that again has been underlined, and I've used a colon because that's going to introduce the method of how to make the sea wig. What you'll have noticed is I've highlighted the words first and then in yellow because they're adverbials of time. They tell us when to do something. And I've highlighted the verbs use and cut in green because they're our imperative verbs, which are bossy. So I've said first, use the template to either draw around or print the shape of your sea wig onto coloured card. Then, using the scissors, cut around the drawing or template. Remember to be extra careful when cutting out the eyes. In this one, I've circled around the picture because I think they really help show the different stages of making the sea wig. So my third point is, after that, draw or print different objects to put onto your sea wig. 4. Next, using the bits of paper you have cut out, use the glue to stick it onto your sea wig. 5. After that, cut out little bits of plastic or parts of a magazine to add an extra layer to your sea wig. So what you might have noticed in mine is there's some tissue paper here that I've started to use to build around Atlantis that's been drawn. And 6, finally, and I use the word finally because it's the last thing you need to do, stick them onto your sea wig until you are happy with your design. If you then want to wear your wig, you could add some string or paper to your wig. Okay, so we've followed all the steps then of how to successfully make a sea wig, and that's what you're going to have a go at doing today. So your task is to use the model to help you write step-by-step instructions for how to make your sea wig. Think what equipment you are going to use so that you can explain that in your method about how to attach it. Good luck, because I can't wait to see your writing. The final thing I want to speak to you about are your non-negotiables. So things in class that we always discuss that we need to include in any piece of writing that we do. We need to make sure that we use joined up cursive handwriting as much as possible. We need to use our capital letters and our full stops. Commas to separate items in a list. Finger spaces. We need to underline headings and subheadings, and we need to make sure that we check our spellings. So I'm just going to go back to the example again, just to show you the type of layout that you hopefully will have a go at doing when you make your instructions today. I really hope you enjoy doing this, chestnuts, and I look forward to seeing your instructions later. Bye!